All right, my friends, welcome back. This is going to be part eight of my presentation on the flood and Noah's Ark. And we are going to continue on with this really exciting topic. Now, if you'll notice on the screen here, this is a fossil of a nodosaur. A nodosaur. It means knobbed lizard. Knobbed lizard. There are two groups of families. You got the Ankylosauridae and the Nodosauridae. And then you got the taxonomy there, the genus. And so they date this fossil here at 110 million years old. 110 million years old. Guys, that's a long time. That is a long time. And so presently, at the time that I was putting this together, it was at the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Canada's Alberta province. And so this is an amazing fossil, guys. This really is an amazing fossil because you're sitting here and you're looking at a dinosaur. I mean, just about the whole shape of it and everything. But what you're looking at there is the head, starting with the snout there at the lower left-hand bottom of the picture, and then going up. But you can see where the eyes go at. You can see the spikes on this thing, the little knobs where they get the nodosaur at, the knob lizard. It's got it all over this thing. This was a really neat looking dinosaur. But at any rate, let's get some notes on this thing. It was named by Othniel Charles Marsh in 1889. This one was found on March 21st, 2011, by a heavy equipment operator at the Millennium Mine, 17 miles north of Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. And so this is the map of that. If you look at that little dot in the middle of that picture, you'll see it, a red dot with a black outline. That is where this fossil was found. Now, only the front half from the snout to the hips was intact enough to recover. Regarded to be the best fossil of a nodosaur ever found, which was petrified. And so now this is what the whole full body looks like. And so if you'll notice that the picture there, they've got like a little dotted outline. That is the part that they found. That is the part that they found. And so if you'll look at the bottom of the page, go over to the right bit, you'll see a timeline where it says Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. That's your geologic time scale. If you'll notice right there, where they believe this dinosaur was found in the Cretaceous, you'll see off to the right of that, dinosaur extinction. And they've got that at 66 million years ago. So most your popular timelines is going to give you anywhere between 65 to 70 million years ago, and then you've got today. So they're showing the dinosaur extinction here. So you're getting a secular world view of this. You're getting an evolutionary timeline, and so but still, some awesome research was done concerning this fossil. And so quite intriguing on what they believe happened to this animal. And so, but here it is here. They kind of pieced it together here. Absolutely just amazing. Just amazing. I would have loved to have been the guy to find this. And so 18 feet long is what they believe it was, and 3,000 pounds. And so just a real stocky little thing. It says here, for paleontologists, the dinosaur's amazing level of fossilization was caused by, now note this, guys, was caused by its rapid undersea burial. It is as rare as winning the lottery. Usually, just the bones and teeth are preserved, and only rarely do minerals replace soft tissues before they rot away. So, again, guys, you got to look at this information. Now, I got this information from a secular source, But you got to dig in, you got to look in here, and you got to filter it through a biblical worldview, and you can see the flood in here so easily, so easily. And they're going to mention it. Now, this isn't the only area where I'm going to point this out, but you'll notice there it says rapid undersea burial. This thing isn't going to float around and just, you know, lay on the bottom of the sea for a while and then over time be covered by sediments. No, it's either going to rot away or it's going to get scavenged by undersea, by the water creatures. And so, but here's a picture. And so they show it falling into the water. And so if you'll notice in the background of this picture here, it looks like it's almost like a storm. But it says here, trapped in time, few dinosaur fossils retain their true to life, three-dimensional shape. But the process illustrated here ensured that this nodosaur became a rare exception. Entombed in marine sediments, it lay in its grave for more than 110 million years until an observant miner discovered it by chance. And so now, and if you'll notice, from burial to discovery, now look what they're showing here. All the way for one, it says sediments enshrouded the nodosaur's body. Over time, minerals impregnated the dinosaur's tissue, preserving its 3D form in a stony sarcophagus. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, they're showing this thing just, it just laid on the bottom and then the sediments covering it. This thing is going to have to be covered by a lot of sediments to be preserved, and it's going to have to immediately start to fossilize. It's going to have to be working on this animal immediately, or it's just going to rot away. But then it shows, layers on top of it. And of course, this miner here, it shows you what happened. He was digging away at this, I guess, the size of this cliff here. It says oil sands miner dug through the nodosaur's back half before noticing it. A keen-eyed worker then spotted unusual patterns in the rock, and then that which was the nodosaur's armor. Oh man, I bet that was really something. And so, but at any rate, you can see how they're thinking here. And so now going on, it says paleobiologist Jacob Ventnor, an expert on animal coloration from the UK's University of Bristol, has studied some of the world's best fossils for signs of pigment melanin. But after 4 days of working on this one, delicately scraping off samples smaller than flecks of grated Parmesan, that'd be Parmesan cheese, even he is astounded. The dinosaur is so well preserved that it might have been walking around just a couple weeks ago. Ventnor says, I have never seen anything like this. Going on, it says, it was so well preserved that the researchers were able to identify 48 varieties of plants, including 3 species of flowering plants in its gut. It was said to have been swept away by a flood. Local, of course. Now, that's what you'll see. Anytime the secular broadcast or whatever, when they're talking about fossils and stuff, when they'll talk about the animals being overtaken by water in a flood, they'll always be sure to say it was only localized. They won't say anything, given the Bible, any type of credence as far as a universal, or a global flood. But anyway, going on, it says, washed almost 100 meters into an open ocean and buried in the same layer with huge marine reptiles such as an ichthyosaur and 2 different types of plesiosaur. And so, here we go. We're starting to get a fossil graveyard here. And so this is going to be more than just something falling into the water and then laying on the bottom. This animal was swept by the flood of Noah, and overtaken with these other animals, because it just said it was buried in the same layer with huge marine reptiles. Get that, guys? Huge marine reptiles. That's your water, your water dinosaurs. marine reptiles such as the ichthyosaur and two types of plesiosaurs. And so, it's the evidence is there. You got to filter it through a biblical worldview. By September 2017, researchers noticed a trend. Another research team announced that most armored dinosaur fossils in Canada are found in similar conditions. They are often found washed great distances by a flood, and then buried upside down in these flood sediments. In fact, out of 37 fossil dinosaurs examined, over 70% of them were found upside down. Researchers using computer simulations found the heavy armor of ankylosaurs and nodosaurs made them top-heavy and highly unstable in water. Ankylosaurs were a bit more stable, though wave action would have forced them on their backs. The researchers concluded that the evidence showed the dinosaurs were in water and at the time of death. Now, I am going to filter this through a biblical worldview, and I'm going to show you the key things in here that sure points to a biblical world flood. Now, notice the yellow. Most armored dinosaur fossils in Canada are found in similar conditions. Notice that. Similar conditions. They are often found washed away great distances by a flood and then buried upside down in these flood sediments. In fact, out of the 37 that they looked at, now look at this, guys, 70%, that's most of them, 70% were upside down. Now, why? They said that these animals were top heavy, and in water, they're going to flip upside down. Notice on the bottom there, they said through wave action. There's your water. And then at the very end, they said the researchers concluded that the evidence showed, notice this, the evidence showed the dinosaurs were in water at the time of death. So again, we're seeing easily the flood. Now, it says at the time of the article, it was almost completely uncovered. It took more than 7,000 hours over 5 years. The process was described as freeing compressed talcum powder from concrete. You almost have to fight for every millimeter. And this is the Royal Tyrrell Museum technician, Mark Mitchell. I bet you that was tedious. It says frozen in stone as if it had gazed upon Medusa. And so here's some of the pictures of the skin. And here's some more. I mean, that's actually incredible, guys. You can see the patterns and everything. Absolutely just incredible. Going on, it says chemical tests of the dinosaur's skin have hinted at the presence of reddish pigments contrasting with horns, markedly light coloration. They said in the nodosaur's time, the area resembled today's South Florida, with warm, humid breezes wafting through conifer forest and fern-filled meadows. It's even possible that the nodosaur gazed out on an ocean. Now, this is where that animal was found at. Now, I point this out here. They said that it had to have lived or it most likely lived in a climate like Florida. So look where they found it at. They found it in Alberta, Canada. And so you can see the picture there where it pointed to, and the Arctic Circle. Look at the Arctic Circle, guys. I don't think this is going to be like South Florida's with warm, humid breezes wafting through conifer forest and fern-filled meadows. So, at any rate, going on, this is another dinosaur that was found in the same area. It says a near complete skeleton was found in Alberta, Canada. Some of its skin was still intact when it became mineralized, preserving its pebbly textured features. Notice what they said, guys, was covered quite quickly. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this well preserved. Exactly, I do agree. We're talking all of a sudden cataclysmic, overflowing flood with the sediments that's going to bury these animals all of a sudden. Now, Brian Pickles of the University of Reading, UK, over 400 dinosaur fossils have been found at this site. So we're talking about a fossil dinosaur graveyard is what we're talking about. And this is some of the pictures of its skin. Here, you can see the little pebbly pop marks and stuff like that on its skin. And so, but we'll stop right there. But guys, the evidence, what is so wild is that I look at secular articles like the one I just showed you, and there were several different articles that I looked at to get all the information that I gave you here. But the main article, I believe, came from National Geographic, and so, but you can look at that information. You can look at those articles, but you just got to filter it with a biblical worldview, and you can find out amazing things because these researchers do amazing research. They do astounding research. I got to hand it to them. They just come to the wrong conclusion. And as I've stated before, you got two ways you're looking at the world. You got a biblical worldview and you got a secular worldview. It all depends on how you view it. And so when you look at it with the biblical worldview, it's easy to see the flood of Noah, the biblical historical flood of Noah. It's there. The evidence is there. And so, but at any rate, I'm going to let you guys chew on this for a while. We're going to come back and look at some more fascinating stuff. I love you. I hope the Lord blesses you real good, and you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.